All right, and he was the first speakers of the afternoon sessions, but we also have many interesting topics as well. And next, well, presented by Ms. Iris van der Veken, Executive Director, responsible Jewellery Council. She will be here for the sustainabilities in the era of the trust and transparency.
Hello, everyone. And let me first begin by taking a moment to thank GIT for inviting me to speak here today to talk about the topic of sustainability. And why this topic? I think we can all agree that COVID-19 pandemic is creating all sorts of uncertainty in the world, but the importance of promoting and integrating responsible business practices and sustainability among the jewelry industry remains essential to strengthen consumer confidence. A business will always need to stay relevant to its customer. And a recent De Beers Insight report shows that companies that commit to sustainability during the crisis will come out stronger with more solid customers and supplier relationships, enhanced corporate reputation, and improved loyalty and productivity from their talent. However, the crisis has also presented opportunities with the need to reflect, make meaningful changes, and explore new opportunities to create a healthier, more equitable, and prosperous future. And I think we know that business as usual is no longer an option. And the good news is that we see that the consumer really cares about responsibility and how companies' operations have a positive impact on the livelihoods of communities. So in this webinar, I want to briefly touch upon defining sustainability in this decade of transparency and trust, the link to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and the business case for all of us working in this industry of beauty and emotions. And we're definitely entering into a strong momentum that sustainability is here to stay. It's not just a nice to have, it's a must. And I really wanted to share this slide with you as it shows the concept. This slide really shows the concept of how sustainability has evolved over the past 15 years. And that there's really a trend now that shows how it's stepping away from philanthropy, how it is all about positive, measurable impact, and how a company finally has to look how it contributes to economic development. There has been a shift among all industries from doing no harm to doing good. And it's really moving beyond compliance and respecting the law to building this culture inside your organization that has a sustainability lens on everything you do, from how you treat your employees and workers, how you manage your supply chain, how you innovate and bring products to the market, and how you give back to the communities where you invest. And what we see today in the sustainability landscape is that every company has to look at how they're managing ESG, environmental, social, and governance frameworks. And recent research proves that companies who have integrated ESG are performing better. So responsible business is resilient business. And as the title of my presentation said, well, this is the decade of action, and also for industry. And that brings me to a topic that's very close to my heart, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As you know, in 2015, 193 countries agreed finally on the global agenda of the world. It's called the 17 SDGs. And they are a roadmap for humanity on people, on planet, on peace, on prosperity and partnerships. It's about leaving no one behind. And it's a call for action, for governments, for business, for civil society to act. And the reality is that we're not doing enough. In fact, according to the World Economic Forum Davos, the Global Gender Report, it says it will take 250 years to close the economic gender gap. And as we know, women across the world are hit much harder in terms of job loss, food, job security, and mental health. We should not forget that in our industry, that women drive 90% of the jewelry demand globally, and yet they're underrepresented in the global supply chain. And soon, in March, the RJC will be launching a gender toolkit that will support businesses to really integrate that global genderless into your operations. And if you were not convinced before, reaching the global goals could generate $12 trillion of business value a year. So policies have to evolve, and it's important that your organization is fit for purpose to do that. So yes, I think the good news is responsible business is here to stay. It will become the new normal. It is the new normal. And why? It's the consumer's choice. Millennials and Gen Z want a company to lead on sustainability efforts. They don't want the company just to tell, but to really show. And we know they deeply care about climate change. They demand more from their digital and personalized shopping experience, and they really want to understand the story behind the product. And they will continue to lead the conversations. And we, as an industry, need to show that the beauty we create and the great work that we're doing, and most important, we need to show that we're always doing better. And that means transparency and reporting on progress. The new consumer is looking for purpose and is conscious, more so than ever before. And that brings me to the Responsible Jewellery Council, because a company needs to have management systems into place to be able to drive that culture of sustainability. And the Responsible Jewellery Council is really the leading standards organization in this industry to help companies on that journey. And we have always believed in a multi-stakeholder engagement that includes government, business, and civil society. And over the last 16 years, we have continued to grow with our code of practices, with our chain of custody, and of course, with the updated COP aligned with the OECD due diligence and the UN guiding principles. And today, we have over 1,500 members in 71 countries, and 60% are small enterprises. So indeed, we have that ripple effect along the industry to really drive that positive impact. And when we look at that growth, from those 14 founding members to over 1,550 members, from mining to retail, we have the biggest luxury brands in the world. And we're very proud that 72 of the members are based in Thailand. What we also see is that companies that commit to the code really show credibility of responsible business practices, of course supported by this independent third-party audit. But not to go to many details, because I know that many of you that are joining today know already our code of practices, but just allow me to touch upon this code. Because I always say when we talk about sustainability, you need a holistic approach. So you need different components. And that's what we do with our standards, because it has human rights, it has labor practices, it has product integrity, working conditions, and all of these elements will make your sustainability journey an integrated approach. But then we talk about impact, because it's not just about the certification moment. It's really about showing positive impact long-term. And last year, the Responsible Jewellery Council released a framework which is called the Roadmap to 2030 and Beyond, which provides a clear pathway of what we want to achieve over the next 10 years together in partnership with you. And the roadmap has been aligned to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and outlines the most impactful contributions that we as an industry can make to really deliver on this agenda. And I was just talking about it earlier. To know is to show. And a new set of metrics have been developed to support the implementation of the 2030 roadmap. And metrics will help you as an organization to assess your current status, to show progress, to promote behavior change, to report on your performance, and really demonstrate measurable progress to all your stakeholders and investors. And the insights of this data will also help inform your business strategy and your innovation to deliver continuous improvement in the sustainability of your supply chain. And that's the circle, because that will bring again the element of consumer confidence to the table. And our stakeholders, we know, have high expectations about the positive economic and social impact of the jewelry and watch industry. And that's why we at RJC find it such an important time now to work together with you and give you the tools to help show that measurable progress. And meeting those expectations and delivering on responsible business practices across the industry requires really that we together demonstrate the facts and the truth behind our claim to the consumer. So we have to have measurement of impact through these ESG metrics, and reporting is critical. And as you can see on this slide, here you see 30 of the RJC members that participated in a voluntary pilot to test the feasibility of this roadmap. And soon we'll be showing progress. And at the same time, we will invite our members and the industry at large to participate in pilots to learn about metrics and how to report. Here you can also find some useful links, and I invite you to go to our website. Also, you can reach out to my fantastic team that can support you also on help desk on these matters. To conclude, allow me to thank GIT and also congratulate them for their leadership. For us, it's really important to work with partners, and we have many partners in the world. You know, we work closely with SIPJO, with Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri. We work with the WJA. We work with NDC. We work with partners because no one can do this alone. And so as RJC celebrates its 16th anniversary this year, I'm excited to see the potential for even greater collaboration through partnership with many of you today. I think we can agree that we owe it to future generations to work together and to build back better from COVID-19 and base our recovery from the pandemic on really solid foundations. And the Sustainable Development Goals are pivotal to this endeavor. So let us work more closely together as to ensure the necessary collaboration and alignment as we implement global approaches to securing a fair, healthy, and prosperous future for ourselves, our children, and grandchildren. I thank you and stay safe.